everybody, it's John, your Indian Cine-MANIAC with another 10ish-minute review. Now, let me apologize up front, okay? I've been trying to get this 10ish-minute review out for the last week, and that's why I'm in a different room to film this with a different camera. I tried filming this in my studio, and the problem is that Apple has upgraded their system, and it no longer is compatible with Zoom. So every time I filmed it, and I've done this twice already, it crashed and the file is nowhere to be found. So that's why I'm up here. I'm going to try one more time and hopefully it's going to work. Now, again, with that kind of dedication, I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to think it. Okay. So the film that I'm reviewing today for the third time is Khakee. And I think it's pronounced khaki because like the clothing, right? The uniforms. It's a 2004 film, and it was recommended by user NU3XJUE8M. And for brevity's sake, I'm just going to call it 8M. Now, his pitch for this, which is actually a great pitch. I don't know why he didn't make the big wheel. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so here we go. This is what he wrote. Why you should watch it apart from acting? Well, it has some thrills in it. Well directed. Santoshi is 90s director, so he will set up a scene, not all close-ups, that is. The story is nice, and it is delight how it develops. And the last reason, The Wire is a sociological story. The individual has a very small part in it. No matter how much one changes, one cannot change the system. In Santoshi's Gatek, he shows how to change, not real, but in movie work. In it, he shows you cannot change anything. Not a spoiler, by the way. Look for the character arcs and what end befalls each. That's a good pitch to watch this movie. So let's get into it. This was directed by Rajkumar Santoshi. Now, it starred actors that I know and are big fans of. The lead is Amitabh Bachchan, the Big B, from Sholay and Pink and all kinds of other movies I've seen, including I just watched Piku. Akshay Kumar, oh my God, 1 and 2, Kesari. I don't know, I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Big fan of his too. And Singham himself, Ajay Devgn, as the bad guy. And he was a good bad guy. Also in it is Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, who was in Dhoom 2, Tusshar Kapoor, who was in Golmaal, and Simmba. So the movie basically is about a terrorist who is trying to get a prisoner who has evidence against the people in charge. And it starts off with them transferring. Well, actually, it starts off with the police beating up this would-be terrorist. That's how it starts. So I'm going, okay, we're doing an anti-cop movie, but that's not what it was. So they transfer this prisoner. They try to get the prisoner away. They end up killing all the cops, but the cop manages to get the prisoner back. So now they're going to bring in a team. So it definitely has a little Untouchables, the Elliot Ness movie with Kevin Costner and Sean Connery, putting this team together. Now, the thing about Indian films that I have come to know, the heroes' entrances are always spectacular, right? There's always some big entrance for the hero. This film definitely takes a different approach. When we first meet Amitabh Bachchan's character, he is at a police academy. And there's a graduation, and there's a speech being done. The camera zooms in on him, and he's asleep. That's his entrance. And then he does a speech. Very good. Then we see Akshay Kumar. Camera goes into a apartment or a house. I don't know what it was. And there's a beautiful woman in bed, and there's someone under the covers, and all you can see is feet. The camera pulls back. It's Akshay. Shakar, I think his name was Shakar. Yeah, Shakar. And he is sleeping with a married woman because the husband's coming home and he's scrambling to get his clothes back on. So those are their two entrances. The cool entrance was given to Ajay's character, who's the bad guy. And he's badass, okay? He's wearing these sunglasses. He's got the cigarette dangling. By the way, cigarettes are dangerous to your health. See, I did that without the label there because that's what they do in these movies. And he is bathed in blood red light. So you know the guy's a bad guy. In fact, he's such a bad guy. In one scene, there was a guy that helped him, and he's got a house with a family, kids, a wife, and the cops come to the house as Devgun leaves, and as he's driving away, the entire house blows up, and he's just sitting in the car with a smile on his face. So that's how bad he is. Okay. So now somebody witnessed him in an apartment, and that was Aishwarya, her character. So the police find her. Now they want to protect her. So they're going to transfer this prisoner from the opening, and she's going to tag along so they can protect her. And she's beautiful. And Akshay's hitting on her. Now Akshay's, I don't know if he's a dirty cop. He's not like a by the rules cop. All right. He's willing to take a little graft. So he's kind of funny. And he's actually kind of goofy in the beginning of this film. But as they're driving, and this was the first musical number, and I really did like this because it was different than most of the ways they set these up. They're driving down the highway and they pass a movie shoot. And then he starts saying, if we were, an Indian movie, we'd probably break into a musical number professing our love to each other, kind of wink and a nod, right? And sure enough, they break into a musical number. But I like that because it was like breaking the fourth wall, and it wasn't just for no reason we're going to do a musical number. So I thought that was kind of clever. And it was a great number, very romantic. So then there's big chases. And I don't know if you've ever seen this Clint Eastwood movie called The Gauntlet. It's kind of the same premise where they're trying to get a witness to the court. So the whole movie is basically a chase scene, and that's what this is. And there's a cool chase. There's I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a town or if it's a market, but there's just so many people, and they're trying to drive through this market, and all of a sudden you see Devgun staring at them. Now Devgun knows the cop, Bachchan's character, but Bachchan doesn't know him yet. So there's a great chase scene there. So then they go to this house because they're trying to get away from the bad guy, and they have a problem with their vehicle. So they go in this house. Well, someone ratted them out. The bad guys show up, and there's this one scene that I understand in Indian films, slapping is a very disrespectful thing. Well, there was a scene where Devgun's got him, and he's got a gun to Bachchan's head, and he wants the guys working for him to slap him really hard. And if they don't do that, he's going to shoot him in the head. And his cops are hesitant to do it because of how disrespectful it is. In fact, he slaps him once kind of softly, and he yells into another room, "Hey, did you hear that?" The guy goes, "No." He goes, he's got to hear that. So you got to hit him hard enough. And if sure enough, he hits him really hard. Now they escape. Okay, so now there's a scene, and this is Bachchan's scene, okay? And he's great. But there's a scene where they go to another police station, and he explains what's going on. And the cop just wants to turn everybody in. And Bachchan does this 5-minute monologue. And it's got to be 5 minutes. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it seemed like it was long. But it's about police. It's about duty. It's about following your duty, doing the right thing. And he's impassioned, and he's trying to convince this guy. And sure enough, the guy supports him. So now, and there's going to be spoilers here, but it's an old movie, so I don't care. You find out the girl that he's in love with is the bad guy's girlfriend. So they set Shakar up. And this is a scene right out of Dirty Harry with Clint Eastwood again, so I think this director's a Clint Eastwood fan. There's a scene in Dirty Harry where the serial killer runs into a football field. All the lights come on, and Harry shoots him. Well, in this movie, it's Akshay. He runs into the stadium. He looks up and sees the girl with the bad guy and realizes he's been set up. And that scene where Akshay was kind of the comic relief, and they implied he's kind of a dirty cop. Well, he has a heroic send-off. And the scene was, it was a tough scene. It was a tough scene. And a couple of the cops actually get killed. So there's some circumstances that happen. So I know I'm just really condensing this story, but anyway, so they finally capture the bad guy and Bachchan. Now here's my criticism of the film, and there is one. In the beginning, they established that Bachchan's character has asthma. He's got an inhaler. And at one point, he's having trouble breathing. He does the inhaler. Okay, he's fine. Well, in the end, he's got a fight with Devgun. And Bachchan was 61 when he did this. So all the cops are surrounding this pit or whatever it was. And now they're going to have a fist fight. So they have a fist fight, and each one is getting in their licks. All of a sudden, Bachchan can't breathe. So he pulls out the inhaler. Devgun knocks the inhaler away, and he's breathing real heavy. All of a sudden, boom, he's fine. He beats the crap out of Devgun. I didn't like that. I thought it was stupid. Okay. Now, they finally get Devgun to court. Oh, by the way, the terrorist, who they thought was a terrorist, was set up also. He was actually a good guy, and he was trying to do the right thing, and the bureaucracy got a hold of him, and that's why he was in the situation he was in. And he gets killed, and that was kind of sad because he was actually a good guy. But he had files that helped convict the bureaucracy and Devgun. So anyway, they go to court. He gets convicted. On the way up, down of the steps, and by the way, he's an ex-cop. That's how he knows Bachchan. Okay, and Bachchan figures that out. Well, Bachchan's Devgun goes up to Bachchan and all cool and everything, and he says, "Revenge is a sweet thing, and I'm not going to be in here forever. And I'll see you again." Real snide like that. So of course I'm thinking, okay, sequel, because the one they have driving him to the prison is the straight arrow young cop, by the rules guy. Okay, so okay, they're gonna have a sequel. This is how they're setting up the sequel. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. Devgun's in the van. All of a sudden, a bar that his handcuffs are on get loose. He slips out of it, grabs the rifle from the cop in the back of the van. Now the driver hears what's going on. He gets out. He opens up the back. Devgun comes out with the gun, all cool and, going to take this guy down. And he shoots him. And all you hear is click. And then the straight arrow cop opens up his hand, and all the bolts come out of his hand. And he just straight up shoots Devgun twice. I think it was twice. So I love that ending. It was unexpected. And I thought it was great. So I really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give it a 4 Ladus, and I'll tell you why. Because this is an all-star cast. I love these actors. Not as much as Amir Khan, I'm not going to lie, but I really do enjoy these type of films. So excellent call on this one. Really, really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, well, I spoiled the crap out of it, so I don't even know if you're going to want to see it. But hey, whatever. Okay, so a couple other things. The next film I'm going to do is Jana Gana Mana, which was recommended by Kylo Wen, and this is a Malayalam film. So I think it's a Malayalam film. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of background music because there always is. I just watched Trance with Fafa, and there was a lot of background music. Another Malayalam film. I'm also this weekend, just as a little aside, Godzilla -1 is going to play at a local theater. I am going to see that. I will tell you what I think about that too. Okay, so that's my 10-ish minute review. Hopefully, having done this 3 times, hopefully this one's going to work. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.